Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'd like to welcome you today to Ford Wednesday on day 3 of the Charlotte Motor Speedway Media Tour presented by Technicom. We are over halfway home, and we would like to give a big shout out and a thanks this morning to our friends from Ford that hosted us at the Ford Tech Center for dinner and a special tour last night. Amazing to see all that new technology. Jamie, Tim, thank you very much for having the tour there last night. I think the Ford teams have got a lot to be excited about with what they're going to be able to utilize that facility for. And would also like to thank Ford for sponsoring our day. So as you're enjoying lunch and as you're enjoying your afternoon snacks, please be considerate and know that Ford's got a part to play in that. We're glad to have so many Ford teams featured on Wednesday on our media tour. Hopefully all of you got a note with some tips and some tidbits about today in your inbox this morning from me. We do have a very smooth schedule. Almost everything is taking place here today at the Charlotte Convention Center, and then we'll have a special event with NASCAR and the Xfinity Series over at the Mint Museum this evening. That'll be a very unique venue for us to do a nice cocktail and heavy hors d'oeuvre night at, and it's really a little less than 2 blocks from the Convention Center, so it is easy to walk to, and we'll be glad to give you walking directions if you'd like to walk, but we will have buses that'll be picking up the media this evening at 6:15, and they'll be picking up again on the Martin Luther King side of the Convention Center to take you over to that program tonight. So again, we're glad to have you here on day number 3, and to kick off our program this morning with Roush Fenway Racing, please welcome to the stage the president of Roush Fenway Racing, Steve Newmark.
Good morning. Thank you, Scott. On behalf of Roush Fenway, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here on the early Wednesday morning session. I know you guys are in the middle of a long week, had a long couple days, and got a few left, but we really appreciate you being here, particularly as we believe there's not another media corps in sports that endures the demands that you guys do, beginning with this week-long commitment and obviously through the rigors of a 38-race season. Now, from our perspective, we're chomping at the bit to get out at the track. You go in our organization and there's kind of going stir crazy as we go through this, because although it's a long season, I think we'd rather be racing all season, and we appreciate the fact that you guys enable us and facilitate our ability to do that by making us relevant and covering us with the fans. As Scott mentioned, for those of you that I don't know, my name's Steve Newmark. I'm the president of Roush Fenway. Before I turn it over to Doug and let you guys get to the main attraction and talk to our drivers and Jack, wanted to talk a few minutes about where we are, how Roush is positioned for 2015, and really kind of how we ended last year. So there's a phrase, a statement that many of you guys may have heard that I think is a truism that says, you know, people and organizations really like the idea of change, but not change itself. And for us, that's probably particularly relevant and maybe a good admonition for Roush, because although we put 2 cars in the chase last year and had 3 cars in the top 10 in the Xfinity Series, we didn't perform to our expectations. And if you had walked around the halls of Roush Fenway during the latter part of last season, there would have been a high level of dissatisfaction because we set goals for ourselves and we didn't meet them. And so we spent a lot of time towards the latter part of last year and in the off season kind of doing some soul searching and figuring out what we needed to do to get back on top. And I think we recognize that sports are cyclical, teams go up and down, but you don't get back to the top just by waiting for inertia to take you there. And so we were looking at the changes that we needed to make, and we're pretty fortunate that we got a good guidepost in Jack Roush that he's been doing this for over 25 years at the top level, and although fortunately he's been at the pinnacle for most of it, there have been times when competitors have caught up or passed him, and he's recognized that what he has to do is to revitalize, rejuvenate, reinvigorate the organization. And he really imparted to Robbie Reiser, myself, and the rest of the management team that we've got to embrace change and we've got to figure out what we needed to do to get our team back on top. So that's what we did in the offseason and at the beginning of last, even the middle of last year, is we made a lot of changes, some of them hard decisions, but I'll mention a few of them. You're going to hear a lot about it both from these guys and during the session afterwards, but some of the things, fortunately we've got a great partner in Ford that stood behind us and worked tirelessly as we tried to replace our simulation program. Obviously added Elliott Sadler and Bubba Wallace, who we think are going to be great additions to the team and have already shown, how they fit in with the organization. But probably just as importantly for us, when you look at how the sport has evolved, and we all recognize the reliance on engineering and technology at this point, we decided we needed to go out and attract some high caliber folks to help our team round itself out. And when we look at what we did with the additions of Mark McCardle, Kevin Kidd, Phil Gould, and a lot of others, we really feel like that's a real position of strength for us going forward, and it needs to be. And one of the great things from our perspective is we were able to do that while still retaining the anchors of our organization that have given us so much success in the past. Guys like Robbie Reiser, Bob Osborne, and Jimmy Finnig are all still around. So if you now go through the halls of Roush, I think it's probably more energetic than I've ever seen it since I've been there. There's a lot of excitement about the direction we're heading. We recognize that kind of hope springs eternal for all teams at this point, and that we're going to be judged ultimately by the performance on the track, but we're extremely confident that we've made significant improvements with the help of Ford to get us back to where we need to go. One last thing, I think one of our objectives up here is hopefully to provide some entertainment for the media, and I think I recall, or at least over the last few years, you guys have resorted at some point to word counts and tracking word counts and teams, and the one thing I will tell you and predict is that we will use the word excitement. I know you've heard me say it a few times here, but you're going to hear that word over and over again from Jack, myself, and the drivers, because there really is kind of an authentic and genuine excitement about the direction that we're headed. This is a very different feeling, I think, from what we've had going into it. We've got, obviously a young group of drivers here with some veterans that complement them really well. So hopefully we can entertain you on that. But I think what I'll do now is turn it over to Doug and let him bring out the drivers. But thank you very much for everything that you guys do for our sport and the fans. I look forward to talking to you after this session.
Thank you very much, Steve. I always have to do this. Just once I would like to follow like Justin Allgaier or Danica to the stage, and I wouldn't have to do that. So, Scott, we're having buses that are going 2 blocks. I'm not really sure how that works with NASCAR's green initiative right now, but
We were preparing in case there was
yeah. You might want to run that by somebody. Anyway, we don't have the excitometer running here, but I know Steve referenced that, and I'm sure that a lot of these folks are pretty jacked up and looking forward to an exciting 2015. So I'm glad to be here, and we're going to start off with the guy that's #1 in the lineup here for Roush Fenway Racing this year. It is my pleasure to introduce to you the pride of Emporia, Virginia, Elliott Sadler. Come on up, Elliott. He's excited.
You could have, is this working?
Apparently not. What?
You could have used a little more enthusiasm. Really? I mean, you could have it's good morning. Good morning, everybody. Really? We're excited to be here. Use some.
You know what? I mean, if you're that confident about it, have at it. Go ahead. I'm good with it. I'll go.
Okay, where's the teleprompter? Well, as Steve said, we're excited to be excited for this upcoming exciting season, and hope y'all excited that this is the 3rd day of the exciting media tour. So we're excited. Doug. Okay, wait a minute. All right. I guess what I'll do while I'm up here, I'll go ahead and introduce the rest of my teammates, and then I'll hand it back to somebody who knows what's going on. But the first guy I want to bring up that came over with me, I think he's made a great decision coming over to the Ford family. Driver of the EcoBoost Ford Mustang, probably had one of them most sentimental wins last year in the Truck Series by winning at Martinsville in his great fashion. And I want to welcome up Mr. Bubba Wallace. I can't read your handwriting.
I can't read my handwriting.
Doug's handwriting. Welcome, Bubba. Before I introduce my next teammate, I have a 9-year-old niece who has type 1 diabetes. And last year when I announced that I was coming to Roush Fenway Racing, she comes to my house all the time to play with my kids. She says, you're going to be teammates with my hero. And I didn't put it all together at first, and I was like, your hero? She said, yeah, Ryan Reed is my hero because he has chased his dreams with type 1 diabetes, and I want to do the same. So I thought that was pretty special and neat for me to be able to bring her to a racetrack to actually meet Ryan Reed at Richmond. And he gave her a hat, and she got to wear it to school, and it's just neat how Ryan has lived his dream doing the things that he wants to do. So I want to bring up Ryan Reed, driver of the Lilly American Diabetes number 16 Ford Mustang. My next teammate, Chris Busher, holy cow, he gave me a run for the money at Talladega last year. I'm glad he let me finish first for that one, Chris, appreciate it. But then kicked our butts at Mid-Ohio in pretty good fashion, and I think is one of the youngest, young bright star in our sport, to be honest with you, youngest ARCA champion there is, and he's going to be a tough guy to deal with for a long time. He's got a lot of talent. Looking forward to working with him this year, and he drives the number 60 Roush Performance Parts Ford Mustang, Chris Busher. Come on up, Chris. Appreciate you guys clapping. Y'all kind of adding to it. You're doing good. My next teammate here, you know, Roush Fenway Racing's bringing back the number 6 car this year, the famed number 6. A lot of history with that car and Mr. Jack Roush. I know Trevor Bain will do a great job in that car starting this year, first time full season with Roush Fenway Racing in the Cup Series. The youngest Daytona 500 champion in history, and you know, he shows it. He wears that ring all the time. I'm so jealous of that ring. I don't know what to do. But a great guy for our sport, great spokesperson, and he'll do a great job in the 6 car this year. Driver of the Avocare Ford Fusion, Mr. Trevor Bain. My next teammate I want to bring up, two-time champion in NASCAR. A great competitor. I found out the hard way. Really good to race against. Good guy. Probably has the nicest hair, coolest hair on the whole circuit. Driver number 17 Fastenal Ford Fusion, Mr. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Show him the hair, man. You got to show him the hair when you get up here. And last but certainly not least, as far as my teammates are concerned, a guy I've looked up to and raced against and raced with for a long time when I was in the Cup Series. Just a really good guy, a wheel man, and is trying to become the first driver to win a championship in all 3 major series in NASCAR. And he's gotten close a couple times, but the leader of the ship, I think he's been with Roush Fenway Racing 17 years now. And I know he's looking forward to getting this season started off. Mr. Greg Biffle, driver the number 16 Ortho Ford Fusion. Come on up, Greg. I won't say since 1975.
Okay. I don't quite have the accent that you do, so that's going to be tough for me to do this. But I'm gonna have the pleasure to introduce a man that needs no introduction. He was a great guy, gave me a huge opportunity. And he's been racing Ford products since 1901. 1961, something like that. And I've been driving for him since 1975. Please welcome Mr. Jack Roush.
Thank you, Elliot. You all good now? All right. Yeah. Excellent. Nice job by Mr. Sadler, but keep the race car driving gig going too, you know. Ricky, I'm digging the hair. All business in front, big party in the back. Nice. I'm liking it. Like it a lot. All right. It is always an honor to MC events, and especially it's a great pleasure to be up here with all these drivers, and especially Jack Roush, a guy that I've admired for a long time. We will start off how this is going to work. Each one of the drivers is going to answer a question from the podium, and then we're going to go immediately to the breakout sessions because they felt like developing in that way gives you more time one-on-one with the particular drivers and also Jack Roush. Bubba Wallace, the newest member of Roush Fenway. Of course, Elliot hit on that a minute ago. Talk about the opportunity that you have right now to drive for Jack Roush and what this means for you to be campaigning in the Xfinity Series.
This is a huge opportunity for me. So first of all, thanks to Jack and Ford for giving me the opportunity to further my career in the Xfinity Series. It's going to be a lot of fun this year racing with my teammates. So we're going to go out there and go to Daytona, be successful, hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, and sweep the weekend. So excited about the opportunity to keep going on. First race I haven't been to will be Atlanta, so it's going to be a fun challenge for me, but go out there and make the most of it and have some fun.
And I understand you're a little bit under the weather today?
I am a little sick, so everybody, I'm not shaking any hands. I'm not trying to be rude, but if y'all want to, yeah, y'all can get sick. You can join the club.
All right, so you might want to, give him a little extra room in the breakout sessions. Trevor Bayne is up next. How excited is Trevor Bayne? You should have real reason for excitement. You're going to be bringing the number 6 car.
Yeah, we are, and I can't thank Jack Roush and Ford enough for the past 5 years that they've supported me and stood behind me to get to this point. It's been a little bit of a wait, but it's been a great time driving the 21 car and getting that experience with Ford on board, and now I get to go drive for Jack, the man that I signed up to drive for 6 years ago in the Cup Series, driving his famous 6 car. So what an opportunity that is to be bringing that back, especially with a full-time sponsor like Advocare. I can't say thanks enough to them to make that step and to be full-time at the Sprint Cup level. I can't really think of many other sponsors that make that big of a step, or many that do that now. So what a great year we have to look forward to. Elliott said I'm not allowed to say excited, but I'm really pumped up about what we have going on here. And I think Roush Fenway Racing is turning a corner, and hopefully we turn it pretty fast here, and we can go contend for some wins this year.
I think Elliott's keeping count of the exciteds, but you're going to run out of digits here pretty quick, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take my shoes off here in a minute.
All right, up next, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's already been introduced by Elliott Sadler. Talk about your prospects for the upcoming 2015 campaign.
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
Yeah, really?
Nah, sorry,
I thought Sadler stole the show earlier, but it's good.
No, we're ready to get going. It's great to have Fast and I'll move over to be our anchor sponsor in 2015. We've had the pleasure of working with them in the past on the nationwide side, a few Cup races over the past couple years, but with them and Zest and Fifth Third, I think we got a great partner lineup on the 17 car. We've got some new changes on our team, so a lot of the guys are working really hard in the shop. Nick Sandler's moved over from Carl's engineer from last year. He's learned a lot from Jimmy Finning, and with Mike still a big part of our team, that was really important to me to have him stick around. It means a lot to me personally, but I think it also means a lot to the team. He sets a great example to our crew guys. We got some younger crew guys that are really looking up to him, and I think everybody in the shop really appreciates his dedication. So with Nick and Mike working together, and with some leadership from Jimmy, I think we're going to have a great season and ready to get it going.
All right, thanks so much. Chris Buescher, before I ask you a question, I think a lot of people need to applaud this guy. He put 175 laps on a simulator last night, giving folks rides at the deal last night. So thanks so much. That's much appreciated.
No, it's the only practice I get now, so I'll take all I can get.
We talked a little bit about your win last year at Mid-Ohio. That's a good place to bounce off and head into a new season already having a win under your belt.
Yeah, absolutely. That first one, getting it out of the way was huge for us. I'm not going to say excited either, because I was told the same thing. But it was really good for us, to be able to pull the first one off, and now we're just looking forward to 2015 and adding on to that list. We need to get the second one, the third one, and so on. And I think with our Xfinity Series lineup we have here, we should definitely be competing for a championship this year. So it should be a really solid year for us. Everybody back at the shop through the off season has been working extremely hard, and everybody's ready to get back to racing. That 175 laps on the sim, that's not enough practice through the off season. So we're ready to get to Daytona.
And I know this next guy is pretty jacked up about the season. He was on our PRN show earlier today, and I was able to hear him chat about it. Ryan Reed, talk about what you gained last year and how much that's going to help you move forward in this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, I think having that first rookie year out of the way and just learning everything that I had learned, going to all these tracks for the second time is going to be huge. And then, I think there's a lot of things that I had to learn that I didn't think I had to learn, that I learned the hard way. And so, I know that that's going to be huge to kind of have some of that out of the way and be able to go start 2015 strong. Then also to have Lilly Diabetes and American Diabetes Association come back on board is just so huge, and to have that commitment from our partners is amazing. And kind of echo what some of these guys said. Just having such a strong lineup for next year and having so many great teammates to bounce ideas and just share with is going to be huge. And I know I'm super excited about having Elliott come on board. There's a lot of there's just so much experience there. I'm not calling you old or anything, man. Just saying there's a lot of experience there. And really excited to learn from all these guys and see what we can do in 2015.
All right, a guy that does have a lot of experience, and I've had the pleasure of knowing him for a long time, and I've heard you talk about this year. This is almost like a homecoming for you, Elliott Sadler?
It is. It was so neat to walk into the shop the first time and see a lot of guys that I had worked with before, not only from my days at Yates, but also from the Ford family. To walk into the Ford Technical Center last night and have the meeting that we had yesterday with everybody from Ford Performance and the Blue Oval, for them to welcome me back to the camp means a lot to me. They gave me my first opportunity in racing. Being able to be back with Doug Yates and that Yates horsepower to really get back with family that are all in going for that common goal, pulling the string in the right direction, all doing it together has been special for me. I can't thank Jack enough and everybody from Roush Fenway Racing for giving me this opportunity. We are working hard. We are going through some changes. The guys have really put their nose to the grindstone to make sure when we unload at Daytona we're as prepared as we possibly can be, and we can't thank our partners from Ford enough for helping us with that, and it's looking forward to a good season. Got a lot of youth and enthusiasm on this stage, and I think everybody's around to get going, and man, we're looking forward to it.
Good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Knock it out. All right, Elliott Sadler, before I introduce the next guy, there's a lot of drivers, and a lot of them give great answers, but in my time of covering racing, when I need a really good analytical answer that explains things, I try to find this guy in the garage, because he has a gift to explain things that crystallize, even for somebody like me that really doesn't understand the workings of mechanical engineering very well. He's very talented at that. He's also a pretty good wheelman, too. He is now officially, I guess, the dean of the drivers at Roush Fenway Racing, and I say that with all due respect. Greg Biffle. Greg, talk about this season and what this means to you, man.
That means it means a lot to me, especially Elliott talked about the youth that we have here. So thanks for that comment. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you're not talking about me?
I was talking about you.
Okay. As everyone knows, and Steve mentioned earlier, that last year was certainly a tough season for us, and I'll tell you that this off season and the no testing that has gone on, we've really kind of agonized over. But I really feel like it's been a turning point for Roush Fenway, because it's gave us the downtime and the opportunity to step back and look at, potentially what we had, where we had made the wrong, turn in the road at. And, we've got, some new people in, and when you're racing every week and you're trying to do this and you're testing and you're over at Nashville and you're doing all these things, you're looking at the problem, down low. And it wasn't until we got up higher and really looked at the landscaping and decided that we've made some, wrong decisions back, possibly, over a year ago on the direction with our cars. And we really feel like we've, found some things we've done wrong and have righted those things. Not necessarily, it's just you got to pick a road and a path and go down that. And we did. And I feel like we've really got a great thing going. We've got, a bunch of excitement. I know I'm not supposed to use that word, but in the shop, it's amazing to see what's going on. From the shop being repainted and the floors redone and all, new people and people shifted around and everybody is given 110%. And I've always said that people, it's people that win races and championships. And Doug Yates and that group have given us the engines and the drivetrain, powertrain we need, and I think the guys that are working in the shop right now, like Elliott said, everybody's pulling the string in the same direction, and we really feel like we've got it under control. And I think we're going to show up at Daytona and be prepared, like some of these other guys said. We're going to be really prepared when Daytona comes and the first 4 or 5 downforce races of the season. I hope that Roush Fenway is, back in the game and competing at that top level. I really feel like it. We've got a bunch of new guys, Kevin and Mark, on the team, and appreciate what Ford's done for us. Ford has really put their nose to the grinding stone, provided everything, especially with the new alliance that they've created. So I'm excited about it. That's the bad word, but I'm ready to go.
All right, rolling into his 28th season in NASCAR, and of course you've heard all the drivers talk about Jack Roush. What stands out to you as you head into this landmark 28th year about you and your organization right now?
Well, first of all, I guess I need to organize a better place for myself on the schedule where I don't have to follow Steve and Elliott and even Greg. They've used all the good sound bites, and they've given you all perspective that is pretty close to what I see as the state of the art at Roush Fenway. Looking back at the thing, I took the view as we thought about the winter and the changes we would consider as the glass is definitely more than half full. Our manufacturing worked well. We won a road race, or we won 2 road races actually in the year, one nationwide and one in the Cup side. We had a very good chance to win a speedway race if Greg had gone on and passed Denny Hamlin before the caution came out there on that last lap. And we won it on a short track at Bristol. And so anyway, the hole in our organization, the hole in our performance was in the 1.5 mile and the 2 mile racetracks, which had typically been our strength. And as you looked at it, there's a lot of things involved. There's the aero map, the ride map, and the analysis of the tire data that flows from NASCAR. And we had to make sure that we considered those things to not screw up the things that we were adequate or strong on, as we went after the things that we'd shown some weakness. And I characterize our changes as tweaks rather than revolutionary changes. We've looked at the kinematics and looked at a number of things on the 1.5 mile car, and of course Mark Mercado and Kevin Kidd have given us some and have given us some new perspective on some things that are going on in the industry that beyond the vision of myself and Steve and Robbie Reiser. But anyway, we've made our tweaks, and we've got a real strong lineup of partners that has been showing up on the screen behind me. I'm not going to start naming sponsors because I'll forget one, but we're proud of our sponsors and our partners because they're all leaders in their marketing segments of our economy, and we're really happy with the relationship with Ford. Jamie Allison was a man on an island there, being the racing director of Ford worldwide. He had 6 people with him that were managers, and with Raj Nair's support and Mark Rushbrook's support from the technical side. He's got 14 managers to help him identify the things that the teams could do better and the things that the other teams are doing that we might not be mindful of from an operational point of view. So anyway, the support from Ford's been good. The partnership's good. We need to maintain our position with our road racing prowess and our super speedway prowess, and just pick up our 1.5 mile and our 2 mile tracks a little. Anxious to do that. Never been more excited about the lineup of drivers. Greg Biffle and Elliott Sadler being the senior group, not to be seniors like myself, but to be a senior group of drivers, and the rookies. Don't have any ranked rookies, but Ryan Reed with his 2nd year and Chris Buescher with his 2nd year. He's an ARCA champion as well. And of course, with the expectation of what's going to happen with Chris Buescher and with Bubba Wallace. I couldn't be more happy with our nationwide program, and we just got to go to the racetracks with our Cup cars and see what we can do in these 1.5 mile racetracks.
Jack, thank you so very much. Once again, we're going to give you more time in the breakout session, so we're not going to take questions from the audience. I appreciate the folks from Roush Fenway giving me the opportunity to MC this. And Elliot, I just checked after you usurped me and booted me off the stage. I think you're trending now on Twitter, so that's nicely done. All right, I'm going to give this back to Scott Cooper here.
Thanks, Doug. Gentlemen, thank you so much for kicking off our Ford Wednesday for us. We wish you the best with the season on behalf of the Speedway. Thanks for being here with us today for the media tour. And also one special note for our photographers, if all of our media can kind of stay in place, our friends at Roush Fenway actually brought in their show cars, and they are parked on the College Street entrance down the stairwell right outside the doors of the Charlotte Convention Center this morning. So if you'd like to go down there and shoot a stand-up for some of your television stuff or get some still photos, we do have show cars here on behalf of Roush Fenway right outside the College Street entrance of the Convention Center. If everyone will remain seated, I'd like to invite all of our special guests on the stage. Please exit to the right and give them just a moment. One more moment. Looks like we're going to do a couple of photos, and then I'd like to give these gentlemen time to get back to the breakout interview area and get in place before you go back there for your interviews. They will be in the breakout interview area until 10:15, so we've got plenty of time this morning for additional interviews. I'd like to remind everyone, please let's start with our print online media on the left side of the room and our broadcast media on the right side. And after about 20 to 25 minutes, we'll allow you to switch sides so that everybody gets time to get some interviews this morning. Again, thanks a lot again to Ford and to Roush Fenway. We're ready to kick off a great season.
Right here for you, sir. I like it.